Well, very good morning. Welcome to Schilpario. If you're just joining us, the qualification rounds have concluded and we're about to press go on the quarterfinals in the under 20 category of the Junior World Championships taking place this year here in the wonderful mountains of Italy.
Hello guys.
Ciao.
Just about 7 or 8 minutes to go before they will start to line up. The women first, with these guys just having a little longer to prepare. Norway enjoying being top of the lists in both categories, men and women. Earlier on today, 4 Norwegians in the top 10 junior men qualification round and 2 Norwegians in the top 10 Women's category.
Hello.
The sun is out and the conditions are just about perfect here in central northern Italy, about 100 miles northeast of Milan, and keep going in that direction over those hills, opposite side to where the sun is, and about 10 miles further north you come to the Swiss border. And St. Moritz not far away. The FIS World Cup Tour was there about 2 weeks ago for round 7 of the tour in the Engadin Valley, the highest races this year, up at about 1,840 meters, so that was tough. Not quite so high here, but the juniors having a little more time to prepare for the slightly thinner air, given that very few of them, one or two actually are, but very few of them are in the World Cup squads. Sam Smith for the USA would be one of them, who is racing here, qualified in 5th best time earlier on today. Remember, Sam entertained us last year from Planica. Some great results there. 2nd in the sprints that day, and clearly looking to go one better today. She's 5 seconds down, actually 6 seconds, over 6 seconds down on Driveners of Norway, who qualified quicker than her, of course, quickest of everyone this morning. So about 4 minutes to go before the cameras will swing across to the start grids. A little warmer than qualification earlier, but hovering just below 0 despite the lovely sunshine and the snow nice and cold. The tracks will hold together well. It's classic today. Every year the discipline switches from classic to freestyle, so the mass starts races last year and the distance races, and then the mass start distance races this year. Switching, it was freestyle sprints last year when Sam took that silver medal, and of course it's classic in Schilpario this time round. 4 days of classic skiing actually before we get to Thursday with the first of the freestyle events. So these are our heats. The first of the heats with bib number 1, Iselin Driveners of Norway, Margot Trilloy of France, the second quickest qualifier, down in 10th. Now that pretty much hands the Norwegian an easy qualification through the quarters into the next round. You would expect that at least. But everything changes once we move from the time trial format that we use for qualification into the head-to-head heats. 5 quarterfinals coming up, first for the women. And in each of the heats, the quickest 2 will go through by right, so the first 2 to cross the line. There's often photo finishes, but the first 2 go through automatically. And then once all 5 qualification quarter-final rounds are concluded, the 2 athletes with the quickest non-automatic qualifying times will also go through and progress to the semi-finals. There will be 2 lucky losers. Of course, for that to happen, they have to be in heats that tend to be quick. My guess is with the second quickest qualifier in this heat being Margot Trilloy of France, qualified 10th. What was her time? Trilloy was nearly 10 seconds slower than Driveners, Driveners, therefore, will not want to be at the back. I'm sure of that. Bib number 30, Lucy Tomova, slowest qualifier, had the last choice of seeds of groups to go in. Faglander of Sweden in bib 21. In 20, Celine Russi of Finland.
Bib number 10 from France,
Margot Terloy of France should qualify, according to the timings at least. Norway's Driveners in 1, and then in 11.
11 from Finland,
Eleonora Apalaronto of Finland. So, a few seconds to go. First of the qualifying quarterfinals for the women under 20 category. And it's all action for the rest of the next hour or so. Away they go. Quick start from the Norwegian. She will want to stay out of trouble, but doesn't have to work anywhere near as hard as she did in qualifying earlier. I guess is bib number 21, Elsa Tanglander of Sweden. She's sitting in sort of 5th place at the moment. They bend around to the right and start first little climb. It looks like a fairly flat course here, but don't be deceived. From the lowest point, you climb a full 25 meters of height. That's not an easy climb by any means, and all work into the finish once you come back across the river, and a little bit of downhill before it swings around to the left. One of the courses where much of it is visible from most places in the middle of the course, so a lot of the coaches and support staff position themselves around the tracks, ready with spare ski poles and the odd spare ski. These days, if you have a broken ski in a race like this, it's very unusual, but poles do tend to get broken, more so in the freestyle races, as the skis just take up a little more room and tend to clip the bottom of people's poles. But it's Norway's Iselin Bjørvik Driveners in first place, opening up a little gap and just making life easy for herself without having to, I suspect, put any extra effort in as we go back towards the stadium in about a minute's time. The Norwegian deciding that she's comfortable enough to just open up a gap and not have to sprint hard at the end of this quarter-final. Currently in second, it's Sweden, and of course the other four athletes behind the Swede, the other 5 that have been left by the Norwegian, now fighting for that remaining automatic qualifier. This may make it quite a quick heat, as they're all having now to go absolute flat out just to stay in contention. It's Norway in first place, Sweden in second, but the gap now closing up, and I think that is Margot Terloy of France that's just starting to come along onto the shoulder of Tanglander of Sweden. They come round the bend. This is the last corner before we hit the home straight, and arms raised from one of the athletes. I think there was a little bit of balance lost there. It's Sweden. I think that was the French athlete. That was Terloy who struggled on that bend. It's Sweden coming for second, an easy qualifier for Norway, who will go through to the semis. Sweden in second with Tanglander, and Rossi of Finland comes through. Terloy of France struggled on that last bend. We may get a replay of that, but she lost her balance coming around the corner. Don't think anyone else was involved. I'm not expecting there to be any indications, yellow cards or DQs for infringements on that final corner. Relatively easy win then for Driveners of Norway, just 18 years old. To be fair, not the athlete people were expecting to be the quickest in qualifying earlier on. Hasn't shown any sensational form just lately, but things have clearly gone well for her. That's the confirmation. Unlikely, I think, we'll get an automatic lucky loser from heat number 1, given that there's a good 2-second gap between the two automatic qualifiers. So we move on to heat number 2. It's 17. Patois of France. Second quickest qualifier in this heat. Purinen of Finland and Hansen. Hansen of Norway going off in heat number 2. Yaklova is the last of the 6 in this heat. Hansen then, wearing bib number 2. She has competed at the World Cup, actually qualified in Drammen last March in the sprint finals there, qualified in 22nd quickest place with all of the best in the world competing that day, and the very best on that day was her teammate Schilpario, also from Drammen. Both of them live in Drammen, so this particular race actually in the classic style in Drammen, and this distance, a fabulous event to watch up in Drammen. It's in the town centre. They pile snow onto the road and they race around the town centre. Fabulous. And Schilpario from that village, town in Norway, in Drammen, winning that day. Hansen, though, with a commendable 22nd place, qualified for the quarterfinals, despite the fact that it was her only, as it stands, and clearly therefore her first World Cup competition. So, a little bit of the work done, the first 60 seconds over, and it is Norway in first, and I think it's the Czech Republic, Czechia, in second, bib number 14, Yaklova. Not far off the pace. In the middle, in that blue Finnish suit, is Olivia Purinen. I'm guessing a relative of Paavo Purinen, but don't have time to look online right now. This pace, let's try and lay down a marker in, so where are we? 1:30 was that split time. That'll give us a sense a little later on as to whether we're seeing quick quarterfinals or not. That, of course, will impact on whether the losers might progress from those specific quarterfinals. So 1:30 at that checkpoint. It is the Czech Republic in second place, chasing down one of the favourites for today, Nora Kristin Hansen, who takes the corner wide and allows the Czech athlete to just come through. That was impressive cornering from Yaklova in bib number 14, the only Czech in this quarter-final. The gap now looking pretty significant, and Norway once again move to the front as they approach the last of the bends. Once we get through the quarters, the standard of athletes will increasingly kind of close, which means the fight will continue around the bend. As it stands at the moment, we've seen in this heat and the first one, relatively easy for the Norwegians to qualify. Two Norwegians coming across the line first in each of the first two qualifiers, with Czechia and Olivia Purinen struggling for Finland, doesn't come through, is at the back. Purinen, Yaklova therefore getting second place. It's a photo finish between Gerarda Kivel, whose brother I think is racing later on today, and Delphine Patois of France. I have to say, not it particularly matters. 3:13 is the winner's time. 3:13. No indication yet of the times for the lucky losers, but that graphic will appear as the team on the ground do the sums. Next to go, heat number 3, Sam Smith is in this race. Bib number 26, Ingelfinger of the USA. Next up will be Neville of France, wearing bib number 25. Sweden's Mikkelsen in 16. Here is bib number 6, Alison Mackey of Canada. From Edmonton, trains with the Alberta World Cup Academy. Sam Smith, who we've already introduced.
Number 15 from Switzerland, Ilaria Gruber.
And Gruber of Switzerland. That Swiss national race suit on our left in bib number 15. Heat number 3. Away they go. Now, Sam Smith, 5th or 6th, yes, 5th quickest earlier on. Where's bib number 5 as a result? A good tactical racer. The qualification rounds are one thing, it's flat out. You go as hard as you can for the whole loop. Once we get into the heats, it becomes much more tactical. Start to work out who's with you and how much work you have to do. As Sam Smith takes the corner first with Swiss athlete Gruber in 2nd place. Canada's Alison Mackey now in 3rd, qualified 6th quickest. So on paper it should be USA Canada that qualify here. But don't rule out Gruber of Switzerland or anyone else for that matter. Still early on, less than a minute done. Sam is pushing the pace at the front and controlling the speed that they're going at. Remember the last heat, heat 2, he spotted the split time was 1:30. That's halfway through. Suggests for lucky losers to make it through. It looks like this field may stay a little closer. Lucky losers to come through. It's got to be quicker than 1:30, significantly quicker. USA and Canada now in heat number 3. Alison Mackey from Edmonton alongside Sam Smith. They will know each other well. They've competed against each other in North America many, many times. Mackey just struggling a little bit, I think. At least little signs. So the time there, 1:29, I think it is. Slightly quicker, but the gap is opening up. That doesn't help us. We are going to get 2 North American qualifiers in heat number 3. It looks to me as if it's going to be Sam Smith in 1st, which means she'll get a slightly better start position. Not that it makes all that much difference. The first 100 meters or so of this race, not so critical. Doesn't really matter which start lane you are in. And now these two really just fighting for bragging rights perhaps, or just to be able to say they won one of the quarterfinals. Haven't seen many athletes tuck down into the more aerodynamic position along this straight so far, but Sam Smith and Alison Mackey approaching the final bend, looking reasonably comfortable. Mackey's in the best position. How does Sam take this? So she has to go wide, and we can see now wide sometimes means you maintain more speed, as Sam did, but that really does depend on how technically proficiently you take that corner, stepping tight and maintaining a lot of power on that left-hand bend back there. Means you can propel yourself forward. So fist pumps for Sam Smith and Alison Mackey of the USA and Canada respectively. Both North Americans progress through to the quarterfinals. The gap's sadly a little too big for me to be any good, at least, at predicting who looks like may qualify and go through as lucky losers. So think it was Sweden in third place. It was there. Nina Mackelson just ahead of Aria Gruber of Switzerland. Next to go is heat number 4. Bib number 29. Canada. Let's see if we can get another Canadian in. Kempi of Finland is wearing bib number 22. 19 is Jönsson of Sweden. Bachmann of Italy is in bib number 12. And that leaves Pedersen in 9 on the outside, our left. And in the red suit, wearing bib number 2 is Holsveen. And actually, I got my Norwegian athletes mixed up earlier on. It was Holsveen who I gave all the credit earlier to, who was it? Hansen, I think it was. It isn't Hansen who's from Drammen, it's Holsveen. So Holsveen, who had that great result back in Drammen earlier on in 2024, the day that her teammate, actually, Schilpario, won the one race that they did in Drammen during the World Cup. Holsveen now, pushing hard, goes to the front. Teammate of Schilpario from the town in Norway that regularly holds one of the World Cups towards the latter half of the season. Holsveen qualified second quickest earlier of the 4 fastest Norwegians, and as a result is wearing bib number 2, and a tiny gap now opening up already between Holsveen and little slip. 1 or 2. The snow is going to be warming up a little as a result of the sun streaming down here now in Schilpario. Nobody at all complaining about that. Number 29, Lapont of Canada, and as if her wax wasn't quite working, she comes out of the tracks to go up onto the softer snow. That's a good tactic. The grip wax isn't working so well. In bib number 9, it's Pedersen of Sweden, who moves ahead of the Canadian now, and first 2 to qualify, so it is with Holsveen way ahead. It's a pretty quick heat, this, so if Pedersen comes through with the win, or whoever, to be fair, does come through with not a win but an automatic qualification, another little slip there from Lapont of Canada, but nevertheless is going well. Needs to not let the gap open up now. Pedersen looking as if she's going to take that second slot, but Lapont of Canada may not be aware that this is a reasonably quick heat. Kempi of Finland is just behind her, poised in the latter stages of this race. We're at 2 minutes and 13. Another minute or so to go to match the best of the heats so far, around about 3:13-ish. Canada now passed by Kempi of Finland. This is Pedersen of Sweden coming through to take second, unless something drastic happens, but it is Norway out in first place. Holsveen from Drammen in Norway goes around the last of the bends, has an easy job now into the finish, doesn't have to do any extra work. It is Pedersen of Sweden in second, with Canada back in 5th, so sadly Lapont is looking like she will not qualify, even if the 2 lucky losers come from this heat, if indeed it is quick. A last minute effort from Kempi of Finland to get across the line, now ahead of Bachmann, Italy, who I think comes across the line in 4th. She does. So, a time of 3:11.75, with Bachmann down 3 seconds down outside. I'm guessing that we may get at least 1 lucky loser as it stands from heat number 4. We may get 4 through if we get 2.
Dunque passano soltanto Özlem e Pedersen. Attenzione, invece Bachmann potrebbe stare dentro, Rettifichiamo, Bachmann con
There's
15.05 la
the
chiusa.
confirmation of the times. We'll have to wait for the technicians to work out fastest times of the two athletes that don't get across the line in the first two positions, but outside of those automatic qualifiers have the quickest times of the day. Next to go, Andresen of Norway is the best qualifier, double junior world champion from Whistler 2 years ago, and that was in both distance events. We'll get to her in a minute. 23 is Schwitzer of Italy. 18, another Italian, Folly. Crowd will be cheering for them. Coupart of France is wearing bib number 13. Here's Andresen of Norway. Already has 2 junior world championship medals from 2 years ago in the distance events, and has come back today looking like one of the better sprinters. And Laurent of Italy, so 3 Italians in this heat. The locals will be crossing their fingers. Off they go, and a pretty impressive sprint out of the start gate from Andresen of Norway, matched pretty much by Schwitzer of Italy, one of the 3 Italians in this final heat in the women's under 20 junior category. The under 23 categories racing tomorrow. All of the races today, this morning, into early afternoon, are the younger end of the junior categories here in Schilpario. So it's Norway out front with Andresen, who qualified 3rd quickest earlier on today, was bib number 11 back then, now in bib number 3. Of course, it is Italy just in 3rd place. And in 2nd as well, actually, with France back in 4th. It's Buchmann of Germany, number 28, at the back. Let's have a look at the time in a second as they all break into the herringbone stride up that steep little hill. To get over that hill, the kickwax not grippy enough to get them up there. They may do it again just here. Yep. They do. The skis angled out to use the edges to run up this ski slope. And Buchmann is sadly being left behind. So 126. Well, depends now on how close they are to Andresen when they cross the line. We, of course, will get 2 that qualify automatically, but it's going to be close. For those timed lucky losers slots. It's Norway in 1st, Italy in 2nd, France, Coupart in 3rd, Schwitzer of Italy, Folly in 4th and 5th, and it's pretty close there. We've got about a minute of racing left to go. Once again, the Norwegians have shown that they are the team to beat today by easily pulling away from the rest of the field, and we have a 3-way race for 2nd place now. And my word, I think that was Schwitzer of Italy that came through on the outside, was it? Bib number 18, actually it was Folly, whose skis looked phenomenal on that final bend, so that's a really good sign for her. It's France and Italy fighting it out now for 4th place, and to be fair, the race for 2nd not over yet. Folly comes round the bend in the lead, tracked closely by Coupart of France, with I think it's Schwitzer, is it? No, it's bib number 8, Laurent of Italy. It's a fight for the line. Norway get an easy win. In 2nd, across the line, is Laurent and Folly, and a little bit of a photo finish for that 2nd slot. But given how close everyone else was, let's see the photo finish. It's actually, it's a fairly clear win, I suspect. Well done, guys. That's just the team checking the camera. I think that's what happened there. So I think that was Laurent in 3rd, with Folly, bib number 18, taking the automatic qualifier.
Bello questo abbraccio.
But we'll check now. 30 in the quarterfinals. Obviously, only 12 of those will progress. 2 from each of the 5 heats, which makes up 10 plus 2 more, with the quickest non-automatic qualifying times. Well, that's the women concluded.
Has the possibility to be seen in the semifinal. Let's see if Maritoli got enough long time.
Switch now to the men, the under 20 junior category. Bib number 30 is Colel of Spain. 2 Spaniards in the top 30. That is brilliant news. 21 is Egger of Switzerland. The Swiss with some formidable World Cup sprinters. Valerio Grand, Riebly, the 2 big stars on the World Cup circuit. Pedersen is in bib number 20 as the cameraman just quickly shoots across. Run through them. Matley of Italy in 10. Harbo of Norway in 10. And today's quickest qualifier is Skari of Norway. So 2 Norwegians in this first men's quarterfinal heat. Skari of Norway, quickest to qualify earlier, but already Egger of Switzerland glances to his right, looks for Skari, and as they approach this corner, Skari's just going to skate around the bend, using the opportunity to skate the corner a little quicker than the Swiss athlete, and moves into first place. In second place, over on the left, is Colel Pantrebi, I think that's how you pronounce it, Pantrebi of Spain. It's actually not, it's Patterson of Sweden, I'm sorry, in the white hat and the blue suit, the Spaniard currently at the back. So it's Skari of Norway is leading us out, but the race getting hotter than it did look for the women earlier on. The Norwegians easily out skiing in the heats the other contenders and making it look pretty easy. At the moment it's Gabriel Matley of Italy, I think that was, in bib number 11 out in front. Harbo and Skari of Norway are Skari's in second, Pedersen currently in third for Sweden. Actually, no, the graphics leading me astray there. It is both Norwegians. I was correct in second and third, but out in front right now it is the Italian athlete getting all of the love from the crowd. In first place, that is Matley, Gabriel Matley of Italy. He's being caught now by, I think that is Skari of Norway, it is. So they round the final bend together. Matley just on the tail of the Norwegian, but they're going to qualify by rights quite easily. The time 2:33.34 is going to be reasonably quick. I suggest the snow is warming up and getting a little quicker in the sunshine. Pedersen of Sweden grabs that third spot and just a second outside of best time. Harbo of Norway in fourth. Now the times will be watched by those non-automatic qualifiers. Great start from Matley of Italy. Powerful start. Little look back from Skari as they approach the finish line. I think the time first across the line given to Matley, but I think actually Skari crossed the line first there, so I think those graphic slightly wrong, unless my eyes are deceiving me. Okay, on to heat 2. Pilch of Poland goes out in bib number 22nd. 7th, Kivil of Estonia. Family affair here in Schilpario, his sister racing as well. Albrecht of Germany is in bib number 17. Bolwin of Germany, another German in this heat, in bib number 14. Kahara of Finland.
Number 4 from Switzerland,
Is on our left. And Isai Neff of Switzerland, of course, in bib number 4. Kahari pushed to the outside. Neff choosing to have one of the more central start lanes, as is his prerogative. So away we go. Heat number 2 for the men in the quarterfinals. Off they go. And the quickest time to beat for the men, 2:40 from Skari. As we see Neff of Switzerland head away, pushing the pace earlier on, and joining him up near the front is one of the 2 Germans. I think it's Albrecht in bib 17 actually. Kahara of Finland in 3rd. Over on the right, and Poland's Pilch in 4th place as it stands. So we're approaching the second little downhill. You round this corner and get just 2-3 seconds to rest. It's really not much. We're only 50 seconds into this. So in first place now, it is Albrecht of Germany leading the way. Neff of Switzerland looking pretty comfortable alongside him, head bobbing. They're both gritting their teeth now. The workload has gone up. The Swiss athlete and the German athlete out in front, fighting now for the better positions as they round this bend to the left. It's the German on the inside, so remember that. That's a good place to be as you approach this part of the course, the furthest end. They will come down the hill, a little more rest before they head towards the bridge to cross the river. Albrecht of Germany in second place with, in first place, sorry, the graphics throwing my commentary all over the place. It's the German in first place with Neff of Switzerland in second. Little gap opening up now between these 2 once again, and in third place we'll get a look back down the line as Neff just uses that unpisted open track to just put a few skates in around the corner. He steps wide to come around the German in bib number 17, Albrecht. So Neff will hit the corner first and may just have enough room to take it tight. Looks back, so he does. Steps inside, gets the best line. Look for that later on when it comes to the semis and the finals. Albrecht in 17, as Neff looks back just to see how much work does he have to do. They both take a glance back and settle for first and second and slow down to cross the line as Bolwin of Germany is just pipped, I think, at the line by Kahara of Finland. A photo finish, but well, my guess is they're just checking the cameras working once again. Well, pretty impressive result from Neff, despite the fact that he didn't have to lead the whole way round. Powerful double pole in there from Albrecht of Germany. Jonas Albrecht it is. There we go. The order has been corrected. The photos are still being checked. But I think it was Kahara. It was a front-on view that I had. Let's see the photo finish replay and work out who it is that ended up crossing the line in third, if we have time. I don't think we do. Going on to heat number 3. Gertsch of Switzerland, can he match Neff in the quarterfinal 3? Baudreau of Canada. Next will be Weidlich of Germany. Another German. Weidlich, let me pronounce that correctly. Here is the second of the Spaniards, Moreno Ramos. Quickest qualifier in this heat is Broberg of Norway, another Norwegian with a brilliant time earlier on, 45 minutes ago. And Lindberg, the fastest of the Swedes, going in heat quarterfinal number 3. No Italians in this heat. Off we go. It is the Spaniard who comes out of the gate, I think, just about quickest and leads the team into that middle lane now, and glance right just to see, has he got enough room to step inside of Broberg, I think it was, of Norway to his right. The Norwegian, already it's been concluded that that second from the left lane is the lane to start in. They will all want that as we go into the semis now. The bunch still together, looking pretty confident and comfortable. It's the Spaniard just out in front in bib number 15. Moreno Ramos, Pablo Moreno Ramos it is, of Spain, looking strong. In second place it's Sweden's Lindberg. That is Jonathan Lindberg of Sweden. Still fairly tight bunch as they approach the first of the split times. Any second now will get that time up. It's 1:13, so a little slower, I think, than the previous group, if my memory serves me correct. So the Swede in second place now. He was third a year ago in the Junior World Championship, so looking to improve on that is Jonathan Lindberg. It's Switzerland's Goetsch of Switzerland in first place as it stands. That's Nolan Goetsch wearing bib number 26. But this field now, all still fairly well packed together, which does suggest that if they end up really pushing hard for the line, and the lack of a gap means this might be the quarterfinal that produces our lucky losers, both of them. Germany's number 16 back, I think that was. Or was it the Spaniard having been eclipsed? Yes, sadly it was, and he's dropping back now. It's Norway in 1, Sweden in 2, with I think Germany in position number 3 as we round the bend. This will be a fight for the line for the first 2 places. Sweden not ruled out yet. Norway not having it their own way, the way they have so far in pretty much every qualifier, male or female today. It's Norway going to come across the line first. That is bib number 5, Broberg of Norway. Weidlich of Germany, he definitely came in second, I think. Not first unless he stretched for the line now. Clear first place for the Norwegian. Germany in 2, and Sweden now having to wait, but I think he will get a lucky loser slot, Jonathan Lindberg. Only 0.85 behind Broberg in a pretty quick qualifying time. Yeah. That looks pretty good to me. I think, actually no, I think we may still have the 2 lucky losers coming from heat number 1. Harbo and Pedersen, Norway and Sweden. Despite that big gap, it was a very, very quick finish from Philip Skari of Norway in heat number 1. So looks to me as if both qualifiers currently, lucky loser qualifiers, coming from heat number 1. So on to heat 4. Redmond of Canada is in this heat. Finn Redmond hoping to improve on 29th place. Needs to get through this round to do that. 22 is Cook of Italy. The lone cheer from the crowd there. Pasila of Finland is in 19. Kimball now in bib 12 for the USA. Murphy Kimball. In bib number 2 is Lars Heggen, last year's world champion in the junior category, and another Czech Republic in 9, Jonas Jan Helmich in heat number 4. Only 2 to qualify by rights. They will note that it stands as 2 out of the early first quarterfinal have gone through. That's Harbo of Norway and Pedersen of Sweden. Norway and Sweden once again making it through as it stands to the semi-finals. Matt Redman decides he wants to lead out, but that's second to the right start lane, always the first around this bend. And of course, once again, it is Heggen of Norway, Lars Heggen, in the first place. Looks to me as if the pace slowing just a little. Finn Redman and the Norwegian Lars Heggen just sensed that was a little bit slower. It could mean that Heggen is quite confident of being able to outsprint everyone and doesn't want to do any more work than he needs to, with 2 more heats coming up. Now the race starts to get hot. I think this is a slow heat. Heggen looking really strong, brilliant technique, as is Finn Redman. Looks very relaxed, but drops back a little bit as we see Helmich of the Czechia come across in first place. It is slow. Heggen in second, a second down on Helmich, who makes a little break and is looking now to create a gap. That is going to make it very tough now. So Heggen should surely qualify, but it's Finland's Pasila in third place at the moment. That's Levi Pasila just hanging on, or is it? It might actually be the Italian Kuch. Similar suits. I think it's actually the Italian in third place. Tommaso Kuch steps carefully around the corner, closes the gap a little bit, closes the gap on Heggen, and will now start to feel comfortable that he can just tuck in behind him, but he's going to have to step out of the track. Now, has Lars Heggen got a final kick and will be able to pull away and even match the pace of Helmich from Czechia? He's in a good position. Helmich far enough ahead to be able to step tight inside the bend. It's these 3 now for these 2 automatic qualifier places. Surely Lars Heggen will get one of them, but don't rule out Kuch of Italy. I don't think he's going to qualify as a lucky loser, because this time it's probably not going to be quick enough. What does he get? So he's about 44 seconds. It won't be enough. It won't be enough. So Pedersen currently sitting on 2:42. Kuch of Italy came through at about 2:44, so he won't go through, but Lars Heggen of Norway will, as will Jonas Jan Helmich of the Czech nation, Czechia. Another good result from them. Finn Redman sadly down 4 seconds, off the pace, having looked good earlier on, but his time then will may improve on that 29th place. Last to go, Yannick Hughes of Switzerland. Hugo of France is in 23, but that was Spring of Australia. Here's bib number 8, Björsen. Björsen of Sweden, another Swede in this. But we've seen Flowers of the USA.
Bib number 3 for Sweden, Erik Bergström.
Oh, Flowers, and the quickest qualifier, quickest of the Swedes so far today. Bergström, 23. Canton Viguier of France. So, 3rd and 8th quickest to qualify, 2 Swedes.
Take your start position.
away they go. 2 Swedes in this final, no Norwegians, so we are anticipating both of the Swedes to be definite contenders, having been the only 2 in the top 10 earlier on today. Well, one of them, I think that was Björkström. Not sure. They have the same suits and only 1 digit on their race number. And my view of their bib number not clear enough. It was Björkström in bib number 3. Currently in 2nd place, it is Cole Flowers, I think, of the USA, who has the next of the Swedish athletes. Bergesson of Sweden just goes wide a little bit there and maintains the pace, but takes the longer route round. It's Cole of the USA in 3rd, just about matching 2nd of the Swedish athletes, but way out in front at the moment is Bergström of Sweden. Now this is reasonably quick, 1:11.78, so we may just deny 1 or 2 of the 1 German, 1 Norwegian and 1 Swede who were in heat number 1 who didn't qualify by rights. But the gap again opening up. Now about a second at least, over a second back between the top 2. So that's Cole Flowers of the USA doing well. In front of him is bib number 3, and that is Bergström of Sweden, who's opened up a handy and comfortable little gap now. The gap between 3 and 4 is not comfortable, as we see resurgent Björgesson of Sweden just starting to close the gap on the American, working very hard. Powerful double poling coming through now, and the tempo from Cole Flowers a little slower. He's taken a bit more of a rest, but he can't wait too long now. If he's got a kick, he's got to use it as he approaches this last bend. Way less than a second in it. Back to the American, but at the moment it's Sweden 1 or 2, with Cole Flowers desperately trying to close the gap now. It's going to be more a case of getting across the line as quickly as possible with a good time, but I think it's going to be outside of lucky loser qualifiers. So the 2 Swedes will go through to the semis. Cole Flowers of the USA looked good in the middle section of quarterfinal number 5, but couldn't maintain it, the American, and lost out. 2 Swedes go through into the semi-finals, of the under-23 Junior World Championships here in Planica.
What his time was, so we can't go on and see how the semi-finals will look like.
We're going straight on to semi-final number 1 for the women. That coming up in just a moment or 2. So I just rejig my equipment in order to follow the split timings and update you on things that the screen is not telling you.
Quarterfinals for both women and men category. We are seeing the semi-finalists getting ready for the women category.
So the time between heats tends to shorten, of course, as there are fewer athletes to run off in the heats. To get to the semi-finals, there are 12 athletes competing for the 6 places that remain in the final that will be coming up a little later on. The sun will be on the whole of the track by then, even this last bit. The finishing home straight, the sun, by the time we get to the finals, I think the sun will have done its job of warming up and brightening up the home straight, that last 100 meters, which will help with the photo shoot later on. It's the first of the 6 semi-finalists get ready. This is Annette Coupart of France wearing bib number 13 in 21. Tanglander, Elsa Tanglander of Sweden, the only Swede in this final. 14 is Jaklova of the Czech Republic, Czechia. Sam Smith, forgive me, not Sam, it's Nora Kristin Hansen in 4. Sam Smith is out on the left-hand side. In bib number 1, it's Iselin Driveners of Norway. And here's Sam Smith of the USA. Second last year for Sam in the freestyle sprint final. Can she go one better this year? She's got to get through the semis first. And there are 2 very, very strong Norwegian athletes, not to mention everyone else, in this semi-final that she's going to have to come past. She's a powerful double polar. I just wonder whether the classic technique might stretch her a little. Both Norwegians in lane 2 now. One of them switches over and they both get to come around the corner together, one behind the other, with I think that was Anna-Marie Jaklova of Czechia in 3rd, with Sweden's Elsa Tanglander in 4th in that blue suit with the yellow stripes and I was going to say white headband, but that doesn't help you, given that many of them do. Here goes Sam Smith. She's going to try and push ahead, but at the moment it looks to me as she's working considerably harder than Nora Kristin Hansen, who's just behind her. Sam Smith out front then. Remember, there are 2 lucky losers from each of the semi-finals as well, so we'll keep an eye on the split time as they come through the 650-meter point. A long line of athletes out front now, 4 of them neck and neck. We're 1:22 into it. Everyone breaks into the herringbone style to get up that little climb. It is bib number 1, Iselin Driveners of Norway, who's just now pushing ahead. It's 1:29. Remember that. Sam Smith, just a slightly quicker tempo, gets to the corner first, takes it sharp, and goes ahead of Hansen of Norway. Despite the graphics showing us the split time earlier on, so it's Sam Smith in the lead. Both Norwegians in 2nd and 3rd place, poised for a fight across the line. Then there's a decent gap building up back to Czechia, Sweden and France, who look to me as if they are going to be left behind. We'll get a shot of them as we come around the bend. Tentative little steps. Actually, here comes Jaklova of Czechia, flies around that bend, takes the corner brilliantly and moves into 3rd place. Sam still out front, drops down into the tuck position to get a little bit of a rest, thinks better of it. Sense of urgency now, all 4 of them. The 2 automatic qualifiers will come from this group of 4, both Norwegians in the perfect position to take the corner tight, but Sam may maintain her speed and go wide. The speed is maintained. She manages to stay alongside, I think that's Hansen of Norway in 2nd place. 3rd now as Sam pulls ahead. It's going to be Norway and the USA, which will strike for the line. I think Sam lunged her way forward and maybe just got across the line in 1st place. Good effort, Sam Smith of the USA. Hansen, Driveners of Norway, waiting to see. Look at that. Did Sam get it? That was excellent from Sam Smith. Well rehearsed and practiced, and that's what you get. And wouldn't it be good if we need a photo finish later on in the women's final. Sammy Smith goes through easily as an automatic qualifier. I think it was Hansen, despite the photograph indication there. Hansen in 2nd place. So. Well, will bib number 1, Iselin Driveners of Norway. No, it was Driveners of Norway. Thank you for the reminder. The replay there. Driveners of Norway goes through with Sam, and it's Hansen, I think, of Norway, who we'll have to wait and see. Laurent of France, of Italy, sorry, bib number 8, number 9, Pedersen of Sweden. Next is Alison Mackie. Come on, Alison. Looked good earlier on, bib number 6. 3 is Andreasen of Norway, Mille Grusberg Andreasen. Remember the name. In bib number 2, Malin Holsveen of Norway. Last of the women's quarterfinals, semifinals, sorry. On the right, we missed her, Beatrice Laurent of Italy. Off they go. Fight for the line. The Norwegians have the inside lanes. Alison Mackie is going to have to fight to get across. Probably won't do the extra effort necessary to take the corner first. Not so critical, but she's well poised to tuck in behind both of the Norwegians as we head up towards the first of the split times. Over behind the trees, it's Norway 1 and 2, Holsveen, Andreasen, and then Alison Mackie in third. They will head around this right-hand bend before they get a little break, which lasts no more than 2 or 3 seconds. Marit Folly of Italy just losing touch with 4th and 5th place. But in first place now, it's once again the Norwegian suits of Holsveen and Andreasen, with Alison Mackie of Canada coming strong on the right-hand side. She paced it well in her quarterfinal earlier on, looked very strong in the latter stages. A little look from Holsveen to see who that was, and Mackie now out of the track, making use of the slightly effectively grippier snow as she works her way up here. Now, what that suggests is that she's got faster skis when it comes to the downhill, so we should see the benefit of that, having to use the softer out of the track snow to get a grip going up the hills. Let's get a look as we head down now, the longest downhill section of this 1.3 kilometer loop. 2 Norwegians out front with a good gap opening up. Alison Mackie now just standing slightly tall as she stepped around that corner, and the skis are looking good. She'll take the inside lane, and once she's alongside, she can do that without hindering the Norwegian at all. Now she has the opportunity. The kick wax is irrelevant from here on in. It's all about the glide wax on the front and the back of these skis, and Alison Mackie seems to have got the balance exactly right today. It costs her going up the hill, but it is the second half of this race where the race will be won today. Out in front, it's Norway's Andreasen, I think it is, and Alison Mackie in second. Oh, a little stumble from Alison throws you off balance. She's recovered well, but she's got her work to do now. It is Holsveen of Norway out in front. Andreasen of Norway fighting hard to try and come back against the Canadian. It's not going to happen. The Canadian stretches for the line. The graphics showing Mackie kind of down in third place, but I'm pretty sure that Alison easily got across the line in second there. Holsveen not having to do any work in the last 30 meters or so. So Alison goes through, and the time will tell us in a second. It's 3:07:40 is Jakleva's time from quarterfinal number 1. The photo graphic still displayed on that result from quarterfinal number 2, so we don't know what time they did yet. Let's see, I've got the times up on my screen. Now, I'm a little confused because it's showing Alison Mackie as coming across in third. That isn't the case, I'm sure of that. On to the men then. Quarterfinal, semi-final, sorry, number 2 for the men. Bib number 17 from Germany.
Italia, Gabriele Matli.
Reloading my computer to give me all of the splits and times we're going to need. Philip Skari of Norway, quickest to qualify. One of 2 Norwegians in this quarterfinal. Neff of Sweden, Broberg of Norway, Gabriel Matti, local man in bib 11, Jonas Albrecht of Germany in 17, and Eddie Pedersen of Sweden, bib number 20. On the left-hand side as we look down the start lanes now. It's Norway and Switzerland. Isai Neff of Switzerland just to the right of Philip Skari, and I think that was Jonas Albrecht of Germany who went wide and is going the long way round and doing a pretty good job of it, as we see Eddie Pedersen of Sweden trying to close the gap now, poling hard to rejoin, move ahead and rejoin Philip Skari of Norway. But right now, the work being done by Jonas Albrecht, who is either trying to just take the sting out of the legs of 1 or 2 Norwegians and a pretty quick Isai Neff of Switzerland. Look at the tempo from that German. This is really good. Now, can he maintain this? That's the question. Gritted teeth as he comes up the hill here. This is so quick. But no gap opening up. Now he's got his work to do to maintain that, having worked so hard earlier on. Philip Skari, little wobble, comes across, covers 2 lanes to take the corner tight. This is quick. They skate around that bend, and well, Skari, not sure that he didn't skate once he got round onto the straight again, then that would be an infringement, but I'm sure they are watching hard. Those rules being clamped down more and more these days. Germany out front, in the lead. Eddie Pedersen is being left somewhat in the wake of these 3. It is Jonas Albrecht of Germany. Look at the skis of Philip Skari. They are good. He comes past and he's on the inside lane. Isai Neff of Switzerland working hard to come alongside him. He will have to go the long way round. Philip Skari just indicating that he's going to go wide, which was a generous gesture of him to avoid any clashes of skis. And Skari just showing the best way to get around that corner. Isai Neff of Switzerland will take 2nd place. Jonas Albrecht, well, he worked hard and maybe his tactic was to just get a good time. Albrecht 1:53 behind Skari of Norway. So around about 2:42 seconds. Let's have a look. 2:42.16 it is for the German. First of the semi-finals, done and dusted. Skari comes through once again, the quickest, showing not just brilliant pacing in this race. Didn't worry when the German pushed the pace and broke away, but had a brilliant plan for this race. And so far, the day has gone perfectly for the Norwegian. Isai Neff of Switzerland, pretty comfortable 2nd place, and had the benefit of seeing how Skari is likely to try to conduct a final. Harbo now of Norway in bib number 10. 16 is Wiedlich of Weidrich, I should say, of Germany. In a Swedish suit in bib number 8, Borgesson, and alongside him teammate Bergstrom, Erik Bergstrom in bib number 3, third quickest to qualify earlier on today, second fastest in the qualification rounds. Lars Heggen of Norway, hoping to repeat his gold medal win from 12 months ago in Planica. And Jonas Jan Helmich of Czechia on the left, the last to be viewed by our cameraman, who steps out the way, and off they go. The very last heat to be contended here before we move to the finals in the junior under 20 category in the men and the women. It's Sweden out front. As we approach the first bend, Erik Bergstrom of Sweden takes the corner tightest with two Norwegians hot on his tail as we start to head up the first gentle climb, where we saw it was Jonas Albrecht of Germany earlier on start to make a break. Powerful tempo coming from him. Clearly his tactic was to try and get a good lucky loser's time. So far it's looking positive for the German. We may get one German in this final. It's Sweden out front now. Bergstrom in bib number 3. The second of the Swedes, Borgesson, is at the back and losing touch with the leaders now. Norway in second place with Jonas Jan Helmich of Czechia pushing hard, the tall figure on our left, moving ahead, and he's going to get to the corner first. It's a split time of 1:11, similar to our first semi-final, and a little bit slower around the corner there. I wonder if there was just a little bit of tactics for positions there. Something useful about heading down the hill here and approaching this corner. Just tucked in, you get to step out and use the slingshot. We haven't seen that so far. The gaps have been too big, but we might see it now as Erik Bergstrom just tucked in behind the Chechen Jonas Jan Helmich. And will he get some benefit from the slipstream? Doesn't really. Czechia now in the lead with Sweden in second as he steps out. Bergstrom steps out into his own lane, and bib number 2, Lars Heggen, last year's champion, in the inside, arguably in a good position. If he can stay alongside Erik Bergstrom, then Bergstrom will have to go wide. He doesn't, he decides to drop back. Oh, Bergstrom is down, and that's the end of the race for the number 1 Swede today. That now gives a relatively open run for, who is it? It's it's a Norwegian bib number 2, Lars Hegland, and a surprise from Yannick Wiedlich of Germany comes through with an easy automatic qualifier. What a disaster, though. What a disaster for Erik Bergstrom of Sweden. Just must have just crossed a ski or something, and sadly joins Targ, his teammate, to well, share war stories as they... Let's have another look. What happened? He just caught his own ski as he went into the corner. It was looking so good. Erik Bergstrom was going to clearly qualify there in one of the best 2 places, but the third, quickest qualifier earlier on lets out a shriek of frustration as he sees the opportunity to get into the final at least, and then get onto the podium about half an hour or so, suddenly disappear, fall through his fingers. Sometimes that kind of disappointment can lead to the building up of energy and, to some degree, anger that can propel you through the rest of this 6-7 days of competition. 6 more to come. We're all the way up to Sunday next week here in Planica with a packed program for you. Now though, we move on to the big finals of the day. 99 men started, I think it was 67 or 76 women. We are down to the final 6 in each category. Bib number 3, Mila Grosberg Andreasen, qualified 3rd quickest earlier on. 6 is Alison Mackey, who has raced tactically very well. Good signs of getting the wax right, which really matters. Iselin Drivenes was quickest earlier on in qualifying. Where's bib number 1? Middle of the field here. Here's Sammy Smith, who won her semi-finals. Got a silver medal 12 months ago in Planica. Has been focused on these races, despite working out, racing out in Switzerland last week, 2 weeks ago, in the World Cup series. Malin Holsvin of Norway, bib number 2, over on the left, closest to us now. So, a big final. Here we go. 3 minutes of all-out effort to decide who gets the very first gold medal here at the Junior World Championships in Planica.
And here we are waiting to award the first medal in the 2025.
Sorry, what planet am I on? It's Schilpario, sorry. Planica was last year. It's Norway first to the bend. And Norway in 2nd place. I think Norway in 3rd. Just about, though. Sam's starting to move forward now. So there's 4 Norwegians in this final for the women. Certainly Norway are going to be on the podium, there's no doubt about that. It is bib number 2, Holsvin of Norway, in the lead at the moment, with Sam just on a tail, and bib number 1 is Drivenes of Norway. Now all 3 Norwegians are in the first 3 places. So Holsvin has decided the way to approach this race. Possibly the slightest built of all of the athletes in this field. That tends to suggest that endurance is going to be her superpower, so pushes the pace earlier on. Alison Mackey back in 4th now, still looking strong. Remember, her kick wax looking a little bit lacking in the semi-finals, but once she got around this top bend, the time is irrelevant now. Once she gets around the top bend, so long as she's in contention, those skis look good. Well, she's had to struggle, Mackey, to get around the corner, fighting with buddy Sammy Smith, and a gap as a result of that has opened up. The 3 Norwegians, Holsvin, Drivenes, and I think it was Andreasen of Norway. Let me try and spot the numbers. They all in the same suit. Should have made a mental note of the hats. In 2nd place, it's Drivenes, and bib number 3 is Andreasen of Norway, who looks back just to see what competition she's got on her tail. It's Norway 1, 2, and 3. Alison Mackey now and Sam Smith pushing hard to try and close the gap. It's going to be a fight for the minor medals. Alison Mackey in 4th place, working hard. Sam Smith has been dropped, sadly, so America out of it. It's Norway 1, 2, and 3 as we approach the final bend. And Holsvin has stolen the march today. She is going to be the first person in Schilpario this year to come away with a gold medal. The very first gold medal of the championships is going to go to Norway's Holsvin, who paced it perfectly. 2nd is Drivenes, and Andreasen of Norway comes in 3rd. Alison Mackey down in 4th. And Sam Smith, I think, back in 5th. Holsvin of Norway. Well, that is a little bit of a surprise, but a delightful one. The chances are she was going to have to push the pace all the way and make everyone work so that it wasn't an all-out sprint. Alison Mackey just missing out on a medal by about, I think it was about 10 inches crossing the line behind Mille Grosbø Andreasen. 3 Norwegians of the 4 making the podium. First podium of these championships out in Schilpario here in Italy. My word, well, that was quite dynamic from Holsveen. Led from the first corner, to be fair, and as a result goes home with her first gold medal. Did all the work and gets all the glory. That's the way it should be, really. Well, that will go down as her best result so far, and arguably tops that result she had in her one World Cup start last March in Drammen, where she was 22nd in the world, having qualified through to the quarterfinals. This will sit at the top of her trophy cabinet currently. But watch out for her. She rounded the top corner in the lead, and there was a little bit of just tight between Norway and Canada there. The 2 North Americans struggling on that bend, which cost them, meant that they had to work so much harder to get back on par with the 3 Norwegians. Holsveen, though, coming across the line in first place. Quickest qualifier earlier, Driveners of Norway in second. And third quickest qualifier, Mille Grosbø Andreasen of Norway, providing us with an all-red photo podium, the medal podium coming up later on. Okay, well, Norway, 1, 2, and 3. Were the 4 quickest in qualifying earlier, so the odds against this happening wouldn't have been good. I hope you saved your money. Biggest smile though from Malin Holsveen from Drammen, and pretty much the whole town in Drammen will have been watching this and rooting for another young star to join Skistad, Norway's big sprint star. As Holsveen progresses through her career, just 20 years of age, so this is the last chance she'll have to compete in this category next year. I'm sure, unless she's too busy competing on the World Cup. Sometimes that's the case. If not, she'll be back on the Junior World Championship. Start list for the under 23 categories, and 3 years then to progress through that category. You can compete in the older category if you're under 20, if you want
Malin,
to.
You're the new Junior World Champion. How do you feel?
I'm really happy and relieved, yeah.
Okay. What is it to be with 3 friends of yours on the podium?
It's just amazing. It shows how high level is in Norway. So it was kind of a junior national championship here with 4 of 6 athletes in the final. So yeah, that's really cool, yeah.
What are your expectations for the next races?
Well, I'm definitely in shape now, so I will try to keep that. And yeah, now the big goal of the season is over. So yeah, it feels good, but yeah, I'll definitely try to do good races after this too, yeah.
Do you want to say something in Norwegian?
Jeg veldig glad, og ja, det her betyr veldig mye.
Thank you, Malin. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done, Malin Holsveen of Norway, who takes away the very first gold medal of these championships here in Schilpario. Pretty confident interview. She said the big job is done now. I guess that means she's got one in place, one win, so she can relax a little bit as she goes forward through the rest of the week. We're going to move now over to the men's final. Only 3 Norwegians in this final, but don't rule out Norway managing to take a clean sweep once again. One man for sure who's going to try to deny them is from Switzerland, Isai Neff, who qualified 4th quickest earlier on today, just breaking up the red suit domination in qualification. They get a little longer to prepare, given that it wasn't that long ago that they raced their semi-finals. That's Isai Neff of Switzerland. The red hat, the red suit with the white lower legs. 2 Germans in this. Yannick Wiedlich of Germany is in 16, and Jonas Albrecht, who did qualify as a lucky loser, comes through, as does Torjus Magnus Harbro of Norway. Albrecht in bib number 17. Hot favourite though, Philip Skari in bib number 1. Done everything right all day. Expect this to be close though when we come to the home straight. Jonas Albrecht, will he go out hard? I think he will. If he wants to be on the podium, I suspect he thinks he'll have to push the pace to out-sprint the Norwegians. Harbro just showing the biceps there. Well, they're about to be used. The big guns are out, as they say. One more race to go here in Schilpario before we move tomorrow into the under-23 category. Exactly the same format as we've seen today, just slightly more fireworks from the athletes 2 or 3 years older than these guys. Bib number 10, Harbro of Norway, smiling, flexing his muscles. Wiedlich of Germany in 16, lane number 4. In 3 is Isai Neff, seeking and looking to join some of the best sprinters on the world right now who are representing Switzerland on the World Cup circuit. In 2, Lars Heggen of Norway, second quickest to qualify. Where's bib number 2? Goes off in lane number 2. And in lane 1, today's most successful skier so far. Add all the numbers up, he sits at the top. It's Philip Skari of Norway. How will they pace it? My guess is that Jonas Albrecht will go off just as they go off. He decides no, he's not going to go off quick. So maybe he is just thinking twice about the tactic he used earlier on, where at this stage he was approaching the corner with the plan of pushing the pace hard. Now then, do the Germans think that they've got the firepower that will be required if the group stays together to be able to pull ahead in the home straight? It's a wide finish lane, the tracks are good here. Now Albrecht starts to make a bit of a move up alongside Isai Neff of just behind, actually, as we approach this little chicane. First right, then left, as we head up and go up over these little bumps, go into the herringbone stride technique. For some of them, 1 or 2 don't have to. 2 of the Norwegians up in the lead. It's 1 and 2 from qualification. Philip Skari and Lars Heggen, last year's world champion, fighting it out at the front now. Isai Naif, coming alongside them or trying to catch them, and the others a little bit of a gap opening up. First to the bend is last year's champion, bib number 2, Lars Heggen, with Philip Skari in a perfect tactical position just behind him. A little look back now from Isai Naif of Switzerland. Is that an indication that he's starting to assume he won't be able to close the gap and will have to fight it out with the other Norwegian hot in his tail? It's 2 Norwegians up at the front. The gap is opening up. In the lead is Lars Heggen. Philip Skari, though, in the perfect position, doing a little bit of a clabo. Undoubtedly one of his heroes, rounding the bend. A little stumble from Heggen of Norway. Now we see the number 1 athlete comes alongside him and just edges his way forward. It's Philip Skari of Norway in the second lane. He will probably glance left in a second just to make sure that the coast is clear as he steps wide. Doesn't need to. He knows the gap is big enough. 2 Norwegians now. Philip Skari in the lead. Last year's champion, Lars Heggen, is going to be beaten today unless he has something very, very special. Steps out. What can he do? Is last year's champion going to have a stretch big enough to be able to take the win? It's not. Skari gets it. Heggen is in second place. And the Swiss athlete, Isai Naif, pips Harbo to the finish line and comes across, is hugged by the team because that matters. It's a big day for the young Swiss athlete to push one of the best young sprinters in Norway off the podium, denying Norway a 3-way podium finish once again. Well, that was excellent from Isai Naif. He's been on the World Cup circuit, honing his trade and perfecting that stretch and that sprint.
Silver medalist Lars Heggen, and Switzerland jumps on the podium with a fantastic bronze medal.
Skari this year takes the win. The first of the men. Brilliant tactical race from Skari. Perfect positioning all the way round and managed to hold off the late charge from Lars Heggen of Norway to take the first male gold medal at these Junior World Championships here in Schilpario. For some reason I'm stuck in Slovenia last year. We are in Schilpario, of course, in northern Italy. Three Norwegians on the podium in the women's race earlier on, and we have 3 red suits actually, 2 of them belonging to Norway. The third one, a commendable win from Isai Naif. Wiedlich of Germany in 4th. Albrecht pushed to the back. I suspect he used everything to qualify for the final. It's a good run from him in his semi. And Norway's Harbo down in 5th. Disappointment for one of the 3 Norwegians in this under-20 junior final. Well, this was the race earlier on. The 3 Norwegians went to the front to start with Isai Naif of Switzerland slowly making his way forward. But when it came to the home straight, it was 2 Norwegians, last year's champion Lars Heggen, alongside this year's champion Philip Skari of Norway, just stretching about a foot across the line. Front on, it looked closer, but the camera angle from the side making it pretty clear who the winner was. Well, there we go. The junior races for today are concluded. It's exactly the same format tomorrow for the under 23 category. Expect Norway again to feature in that. There will be quite a few of these photos for this young man today. Started the day, I forget what bib he was actually, to start his race in. See if I can remember. But once he qualified, got into that bib number 1 and stayed in bib number 1. Finishes in position number 1 today. There's the podium to our left for the awards ceremony.
Philip, you did it, world junior champion. How do you feel?
It's unreal. I don't think I understand it yet because I've been so stressed the last couple of days. Been very nervous and wanted to do very good today, and I felt kind of some pressure, but I also put pressure on myself, so it was very good to deliver.
How do you like the Schilpario tracks here?
It's kind of interesting. It's first up and then down. So I wanted to be second at the top, to kind of get the drag out of the last stretch. But yeah, it's difficult. I think it's difficult to understand what's the right tactics here, but I felt I did it very good today.
What are your expectations for the next races?
I only thought about the sprint for now, so I gotta land today and make a good plan tomorrow for Wednesday.
Nå kan du si noe på norsk.
Jo, det var litt sånn spennende sprintløp, litt sånn vanskelig å vite hvordan det skal gå taktisk. Jeg har vært litt sånn stresset de siste par dagene. Jeg setter ganske høye krav til meg selv, så da var det deilig å føle at jeg traff taktisk og sånn i dag, så det var godt.
Congratulations, Philip.
Thank you.
Philip, stay there. We do the
Well, that was a pretty confident interview from Philip, who has every right to sound confident after that performance today. We have a little pause now as things are prepared for the awards ceremony. Top 6 will be honoured and acknowledged on each of the podiums. First little bit of hard work done here in Schilpario, and a good look at the course. Now these tracks, the sprint course, the 1.3 kilometers that we've just seen them sprint around, do form much of the loops. There's a 4-kilometer course here, which all of the races will be contained within that 4-kilometer loop. So if it's 3.3 kilometers times 3 for the 10-kilometer race coming up later on in the week, it'll be that 4-kilometer course cut short. But every one of the courses using the tracks that we've seen this morning, which is great news. Exciting stadium to finish and cross the line in, as we saw from these guys earlier on. Well, as word gets out around the town and around the district, expect the crowds to slowly increase as the week moves on here in Schilpario. The competition climaxing next Sunday with the relay races, a mixed team made up of 2 men, 2 women, both in the junior category and the under 23 category. Both relay races being held a week today as the finale of these races here at the 2025 Junior World Championships in Schilpario.
No, che facendo devo coprire tutto, quindi ma secondo te mi ho dato 5 minuti a far cosa? Però io non faccio più tanto. Ok, però qui in camera, devo stare qui, perché se si fa la beauty, se io vengo via, chi la copre dopo? Ma non puoi continuare a chiamarmi, io per rispondere al telefono, devo togliere i guanti, devo togliere...
Dammene una, dammene una.
Ma io sono di 10. Se ho fatto subito la coordinata, subito. Quello che sono andato a recuperare lì. Sì, ma come fai a rompere un bariotto? E di fa, ma si è capito dentro? No, ho capito. No, ci vuole il cavo suo proprio, quello lì adesso l'abbiamo ordinato, perché sono arrivati in alberghi più strani, quelli che fanno angolo, e poi dopo hanno la prolunga. Vabbè, comunque mi pare che abbiamo fatto tutto molto bene. Come andava? Faceva tutta lì. Era 3 mesi sopra lo stesso.
Sai secondo me quando soltanto
Molto freddo, sì. Mani fisico in gelati. Questo si cerca da quelli.
no, quale
della terra. Perché il sole ha cambiato tutto, infatti è avere il cavallo gonfiato, non so come fa a parcheggiare qua,
Ma dai!
Buongiorno. Dal 95.
ma sei sul trabattello, sì? E come fai con il Finder? Io ho una mano sul Finder e uno sul Finder. Io muovo perché qua ce l'ho fischiato, lì ce l'ho in salita. Non riesco a girarti a sopra, guarda che spazio che ho. Perché qua sei da sganciato quasi 106 volte in un minuto. macchina che ho quei paramani qua sopra, mi tiro dentro e vedo, se no non vedo fare. Però il problema era là, prendi la camera, riaccendila e compra il cazzo, il problema vostro, il problema è che l'hanno là, perché poi non la più cazzo, perché fai tutto cambiato. 6 volte in un minuto e poi basta. Ma allora, se la 1 lavora sulla spalla, se lavori basso, la spalla sì, ma se tu starai alla schiena di polso e stai la camera così, il polso ce l'hai qua, poi fai a prendere là.
Lars, you won last year. Today you are second. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm satisfied with the second place, but I wanted the gold, but yeah, Philip was just better today, so I'm pretty happy with the silver medal.
Are you expecting some goal for the next races?
Yeah, I hope to be in the top on both the 20k and the 10k, so yeah, I'm ready to fight for the gold medal.
Thank you, Lars.
Allora lì la partenza che dovrebbe avere due di un'antenna che riceve dietro e una avanti, quella va avanti. Vabbè, come abbiamo il ragazzo che non vola fuori, ha finito di nuovo
Isai, you were fourth last year. Now you get the medal. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's really cool. So the pressure is a little bit away now with the medal in the first race. That feels really good.
Are you used to race here in Schilpario?
Yeah, I like really much this place here. We had also last year and TOT, and yeah, I like it.
Do you have big expectations for the next races?
Yeah, I will hope that I can also fight in the 20 kilometers for the medals and also in the next races.
Thank you, Zai.
corso. È andato a prendere il cavo HDMI come fatto. Vado giù a prendere un bancale adesso. Infatti mi girano fuori. Vabbè, com'è andata la fine? No, se più ma non era male. Ho capito che stava un po' di camera. Questa qui ha sganciato 6 volte in un minuto e poi non ha più sganciato. Che cazzo potrebbe essere? No, qui era ancora in ombra. Sì, era ancora in ombra. Ma non è che si spegneva.